from Style Systems, your exclusive image consultant. So this video is out of an inspiration that something that I just heard, something that just occurred. And today is the 2nd of November, which is the Day of the Dead here in Mexico. And I'm inspired. The energy is wonderful right now. I have my dad over here, my uncle, all of my beloved ones over there, my grandfather, and all of them, they're here actually right now. So it's a very lovely time of the year to meditate and get in touch with this. So apparently, you know, I thought there was some misunderstanding with one of my friends, the yogi, Chris de Vilbis. You know him. I've done some videos with him, some lectures with him. And I thought that, you know, he has his own podcast, and I thought that I was going to be a guest on there, but I had a misunderstanding. I was not going to be a guest speaker, but I was going to be like a listener, you know, a listener there, you know, sharing maybe some information and maybe asking some questions. So it was a misunderstanding, but there's a lesson to be learned there, and I was left inspired by what they were talking about, right? They were talking about empathy versus sympathy. So I'll just get right on it. Before I get on it, before I start this little mini lecture that I want to share with you guys, is never interrupt the other person. If there is a misunderstanding, and if you agree or you don't agree with whatever it is that you're listening, or you feel the urge to add something, don't interrupt, all right? You have your own kingdom, and you are the king of your own kingdom, or within your own kingdom. So when I was listening to that podcast, I was, you know, intrigued by some of the suggestions and the things that they were saying. And of course, I have my own way of living. And here's the true lecture: empathy versus sympathy. After all these fucking introduction, empathy versus sympathy. You see, when you think about empathy, you undoubtedly must talk about emotions. When you talk about empathy, you're talking about emotions, about connecting the ability to connecting yourself to another human being or experience emotionally. You can feel whatever it is that the other person is going through. You can feel it. Pay attention to these words. Then, if you move to sympathy, sympathy means that you can agree, both parties can agree on something without one of them actually having experienced it, that which the other person is experiencing. Let me break it down. Let's say that if you want to be sympathetic, or I want to be sympathetic towards someone or something, if somebody tells me that he or she just suffered a loss, and maybe I've never suffered a loss of a pet or of a family member, nobody has ever died in my experience of life, right? So I cannot be empathetic with that person because I emotionally cannot feel that experience. And you can only talk through what you experience in your own reality. Otherwise, you just become a liar. Because everyone can talk about this, everyone can talk about that, everyone have their own beliefs. Everyone talk about what they believe and what they think they know, jumping into conclusions. But if you try to understand the feeling of the other person, but you have never experienced it, and if you try to do so, then you're full of shit. Aren't you? Then you are full of shit because you are not being empathetic. You're basically just lying to the other person, trying to make him feel, or trying to make her feel that you understand and you've been through her. You can understand the emotions that they're saying or that they are experiencing. So let's emphasize this, all right? Let's emphasize this very clearly. You know, I always put an altar to my father. I grew up without a father. Maybe you have your own father. You cannot stay here and say like, oh, I'm empathetic towards your feeling of not having a father. You can never be empathetic with that because you have not experienced it. You can be, however, sympathetic. Because being sympathetic means that we both can agree on something. What can we agree upon? We can agree that it feels shitty losing a beloved one. It's not If you lose your parent, you will suffer a little bit. You will grieve for a time, right? Now we can both agree upon that, and from there we move forward. Now that is the most basic differences between empathy versus sympathy. And to end up, because I don't want to take too much in this mini lecture, I have some meditations to do today. Since all of this new knowledge that I've been encountering, all of this new evolution that I've been doing, maybe some of you only recognize me as the fashion guy, as the style guy, the image consultant. Yes, but if you understand the meaning of imagology, then you will understand that the possibilities are infinite. And you, me, everybody are more than they think they are. So don't try to put me into one category, all right, of just being the fashion guy. But if it helps you, and if that's what you want, then do your own thing. But I've been tapping into this new knowledge, and that's why I'm creating and putting together my new product, Beyond the Body and the Mind, which will be released at the end of November. So when you experience your life and everything around you just with your senses, you're perceiving everything through your senses, just with your earthly body, through your senses and through your ego, through yourself, then that means that you can never be empathetic nor sympathetic, because you're only experiencing life based on what you believe it's right, based on what you think, based on what you are, meaning very egotistical. But when you expand your perception, when you enhance, not expand, well, maybe expand, but when you enhance your perception, when you can see things more clearly through meditation, through whatever it is, whatever spiritual path that you're on, that's yours. And you know, there's many different ways. You can do yoga, you can do meditation, you can do whatever the fuck it works for you. That's for you, all right? Basically, being in the spiritual path, what it means is being free or making your own decisions of your own reality. So when you expand and enhance your ability of perceiving things outside of this body, outside of your senses, you start realizing that you are part of everything. Now that's some deep shit, and that I will explain it even deeper on my product Beyond the Body and the Mind. When you enhance your perception and start seeing that maybe my experience of life, or maybe the experience of life and the cosmos and existence, is beyond just what I feel, what I touch, what I see, what I smell, what I hear. But the problem is that the majority of the people they live their life and their existence based only on what they can hear, what they can see, what they can smell, what they can touch. And that is making it so small. You're making existence so very fucking small. And that's why you're not able to see beyond. So, here's the teaching, or the suggestion. Once you start seeing beyond the body, and beyond the mind saying about beliefs, beyond what you believe in, beyond what you can perceive with your senses, with your body, you start realizing that you are part of the all. We are all living in this world, aren't we not? Maybe you're living in America, maybe I'm living in Mexico, maybe you're living in Italy, maybe you're living in, I don't know, Germany. However, we are all here. Okay, maybe you expand and enhance your perception, and through that you start understanding that it's not only about you. This is when empathy and sympathy comes in hand. Because when you enhance your perception beyond the body and the mind, if I break my finger, which I did, by the way, I'm not doing I'm not giving you the finger, but I was working the day after. No, the day after yesterday, I don't know how to say it in English, and I fucked up my finger, lifting some things, working on something, working in a construction site, and I fucked up my finger, by the way. So, if I fuck up my finger, immediately, I don't even have to think about it. I will try to do my best to fix it. Is it not? I mean, tell me if that's not true. If you have something wrong inside of your own self, in your body, you will immediately try to make it better, to fix it, to work on it, to see what can you do, what can I do with this finger that is broken. You don't sit there thinking, oh shit, my finger is broken. Man, I wish that I could have someone that sympathizes with me or empathizes with me, because it feels so bad. And I wonder how many people have broken their fingers. Man, I feel so shitty. That is not empathy, that is not sympathy. Whatever it, naturally, whatever it is that you think and say you are, naturally you are a human being. And that humanity, naturally, when you enhance and you bring yourself up beyond the body and beyond the mind, naturally, when you see grief in another human, you will naturally see it as your own. You will try to make it your own. You will see it and you will feel it, because there's humanity inside of you. So it's no longer about, well, I'm not empathetic and I'm not sympathetic because, I don't understand what they're going through. And I could give a fuck. I'm here in my house and everything is okay. I don't give a fuck about them. Or maybe I do, I feel kind of bad, but it's whatever. We must see beyond that. Because when we start experiencing things like we are part of the all, with that you start taking care of that too, to the best of your abilities. I'm not saying that if you see a natural disaster in another corner of the earth, you live in this country but it's in another country and you do not have the resources to go there, then I'm not telling you to go there physically. I'm telling you to expand your perception and see beyond you. This is not just about you, and this is not just about your loss. This is not just about what you are experiencing. You are experiencing everything, the all. So if you are going through some hardships, if I can see beyond myself, I'm gonna feel that. Now, if I have experienced it, whatever it is that the bad experience that you're having right now, if I've been through that, I will have empathy because I've been through it. If I have not experienced that, I will feel sympathy for you. And I will try to put myself in your shoes and feel it. Feel it from a position that you are like a part of my finger, you see? Because why is it that when you feel something bad inside of you or with your body, you immediately take care of it, right? Isn't it? You immediately want to take care of it. But when something outside of you happens, you don't care. So expand your perception and try to see everyone like your brother, like your sister, like your significant other. Try. I'm not saying that it will happen, but at least try. And with that, maybe the experience of life will become with less grief. We will experience less grief. We will be more joyful, more blissful. So, and just a quick golden nugget that I want to end up with this, because I know that you will benefit tremendously with this, and then I'll finish. When somebody is going through some hardship and you want to feel sympathetic or empathetic, whichever, you know the differences now. Basically what the other person wants is to be heard, is to be understood, right? So you're not there to lift them up, because you can never lift someone up. This happens within. You can only lift yourself up. Nobody else can. No God, no mentor, no one. Only you can bring yourself up. But you can experience sympathy with your groups, with your peers, with your friends, with your family, with your whatever. And you can talk about it. And the only thing, or the only reason why you do that is because you want to feel understood. You want to feel some sort of validation that you're not crazy and that people understand what you're going through. And then they are there with you. And with that, you feel certain emotions that connect you better with other human beings. Okay? So understand that. Even if you haven't experienced something that another person is experiencing, meaning you do not have empathy, you can, simply understand that they want to be heard, all right? They want to be understood. So maybe you can read their body language, read their tonality, read them very carefully and see if they want to hear if they want you to talk, to give them some sort of motivational talk, like, it's okay, I can only imagine what you feel, but or maybe I've been through what you are going through and I feel your pain. but you know it's gonna happen, and it shall pass. Whatever. You must read. You must calibrate to see if they want or need, in quotes, some words, or if they just want your presence, some hug. For some people, all they want or all they need is just a hug. No words need to be spoken. Maybe just your energy of being there with them, of perceiving beyond you. You can perceive their grief. You can actually feel it because, like I told you, it's like a part of your finger, like a part of your body. The world, that's how we should be experiencing the world. Not as something outside of you, but you are part of that also. And with that, you will take care of it better. Just in the same way you're taking care of yourself. With that, I'm going to leave you. Become the best version of yourself. And I will see you in the next one.